In the late 1980s, when the glow of a television screen flickered in the dark corners of suburban America, a teenager named Emily stumbled upon an innocuous piece of technology, a VCR, discarded at a garage sale, waiting to be given a new life. Little did she know, this VCR would not only play tapes, but also unravel the very fabric of her reality. The sun beats down on a neighborhood garage sale. Items are haphazardly displayed on tables, old toys, clothes, and electronics. Emily, a university-aged girl with a bright smile and an infectious laugh, rummages through the items. Emily had always been the girl next door, the cheerleader, the activist, the student with dreams larger than life. But as her parents left town for business, and her younger brother occupied himself with friends, boredom settled like a thick fog. Emily picks up a dusty VCR, curiosity piqued. Emily, speak to herself. This could be fun, a way to fill the empty weekends. She pays a few quarters to the elderly woman running the sale and heads home, her heart lighter, unaware of the darkness that awaited her. Emily's bedroom cluttered with textbooks and posters. The VCR sits on her desk, surrounded by a few tapes. She settles onto her bed, excitedly preparing to watch a movie. That night, Emily plugged in the VCR, feeling a thrill of anticipation. She popped in a tape labeled Family Fun Night and hit play, expecting laughter and joy. The screen flickers to life, revealing a familiar scene. Her own living room, but from an angle she had never seen. It felt oddly unsettling. Emily, confused. What? Suddenly the scene shifts, showing her sitting on the couch, unaware of the camera. A chill ran down her spine as she caught a glimpse of her own reflection in the window. Only she was not alone. There, lurking in the shadows, a figure stood, someone she had never invited into her home. Someone whose presence sent a shiver through her core. She reached for the remote, fumbling with her trembling fingers, and pressed pause. Emily, pacing her room, her heart racing as the reality of the footage sinks in. The walls of her room feel like they are closing in. The sensation of being watched crept over her, making her skin crawl. It was more than just a figure on the screen. It felt personal. As news of a young woman's disappearance circulated through the small town, Emily's mind raced with dread. She picks up her phone, dialing her boyfriend's number. Emily, breathless. Come on, pick up. But there was no signal, just an eerie silence that filled the room, amplifying her fear. Alone, with shadows flickering and the weight of an unseen gaze pressing down on her, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Emily sits on her bed, staring at the VCR, the shadows dancing around her. The tension in the air is palpable. Desperate for comfort, Emily dialed her boyfriend again. But the line was dead, replaced by static and a chilling silence. The clock ticked loudly in the background, echoing her rising panic. Suddenly, the VCR whirs back to life, as if on cue. The screen flickers, and she's met with an image of her brother in their backyard playing innocently. But then it shifts again, showing her in the same spot. But this time, she looks terrified. Emily, shouting, "No, stop!" The video then cuts to a darkened room, a flickering light revealing a figure pacing restlessly. A distorted version of the man who had been lurking in the earlier footage. Emily stands frozen, heart pounding in her chest. The figure in the video begins to reach for the camera, and she feels an overwhelming urge to flee. In a moment of reckless bravery, she lunged for the VCR, yanking the cord from the wall. But the screen flickered back to life, and the figure, now clearer, turned directly toward her, eyes filled with malice. Suddenly, the figure lunges at the camera, the screen shaking violently as if it were alive. It was then that she realized this was no ordinary VCR. It was a portal, a window into a twisted reality where she was not merely a viewer, but a participant. Emily feels a rush of defiance, determined to reclaim her life. "You don't control me?" In a desperate act, she grabs a tape from the shelf, the one labeled Home Security. With determination, Emily inserts the tape into the VCR, her hands shaking but resolute. The screen lights up, showing the figure from earlier, now trapped in the monitor. With a flicker of the screen, Emily felt a surge of power. She pressed play, watching as the figure was pulled into a swirling vortex of light, his screams echoing in the room. The scene shifts, showing him in a prison cell of distorted pixels, forced to watch her life unfold from a distance. Emily, breathing heavily, a mix of triumph and fear. "You're trapped, just like I was." Emily stands in her room, now eerily quiet, the VCR silent. The shadows linger, but she feels a sense of control returning. With the figure imprisoned within the VCR, Emily had taken back her life, but the victory felt bittersweet. The news of the young woman's disappearance had stopped, but the lingering sense of being watched would never truly fade. She glances at the VCR, now a silent guardian of her secrets. As she settled back onto her bed, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was still watching her. Perhaps it was the VCR that knew too much, a remnant of a past she couldn't escape. The screen fades to black, leaving only the echo of static. In a world where technology intertwines with the unknown, sometimes it's not just the past that watches, it's the future, waiting to reveal its secrets in ways you never anticipated.